Our third speaker today is Ken Smith, and he's giving his speech from the Professional Speakers Manual, and will be a 15 to 20 minute speech. Ken Smith, along with his wife Arlinda, is a charter member, and certificate sponsor and mentor for this club. You may know. Ken is presenting a project from the Professional Speakers Manual. This project is the sales training speech. 15 to 20 minutes, and when interviewing for a job, we need to sell ourselves to the interviewer, or in some cases, several interviews. Each interview may be best handled as if tailored to that specific interview. How do we do that? Here to show us how, please help me welcome Ken Smith with his speech entitled, Selling Yourself to the Interviewer. Selling Yourself to the Interviewer, Ken Smith.
Tables might be down a little too far. Wow, thank you, Emma. Great setup for my speech. Good thing we communicated on that. Why do you need to sell yourself to the interviewer? Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and our most welcome guests. Thank you for coming. It's been said, I think accurately, that nothing happens until someone sells something to someone. If you think about that, I think you'll find the truth to it. We all love to buy. Many of us don't like to be sold. But how can you buy anything if there's not something to buy? And that involves someone at the other side of the transaction. Well, what we're looking at today is selling yourself to the interviewer. Emma got you to that interview. Thank you. But it's your job now to turn that into a job. There we go. What I'm going to give you is a 5-step formula for selling yourself to the interviewer. I'm going to concentrate on the second step later. But the first step, of course, is to find out what the company needs. That means doing some research. It isn't just blasting your resume out there and taking whatever interview comes. Once they've set an interview time with you or said they're interested, you need to find out as much about that company and its people and its products as you can. You've got to go in well informed. It's your job to show them why, among all the people they're considering, you are the one they want to hire. Well, some of this will also mean finding out what their pains are. Did you know that most people buy or do something when they're in pain? Now think about it. You've set dental appointments in the past. Isn't it kind of easy to move them to another date and time? You don't really want to go to the dentist. Well, what happens if you have a toothache? You're in pain, you've got to take care of that pain right now. So you will see the dentist as fast as you can. And that's true with almost everything we deal with. When we're in pain, if somebody has a solution to that pain, we want that person's solution. So find out why the company needs to hire you, or somebody. Find out what their pain is. They just don't have enough staff to do something? Is there a special project they're working on that you have the expertise to take care of? Find out what that pain is. There will be indicators along the way where you can determine what you can use as a bullet. So the point is, you've got a pistol at your side. You want to fire bullets at the guy, but you need to have as many bullets as you can. So you need to know as much as you can about this company ahead of time. Step 2, once you're in the interview, is gain the confidence of the interviewer. As I said, we will get more into that at the end of this 5 steps. But one of the things you want to do is know ahead of time you want to present the information to that interviewer in the way that's most comfortable for that particular interviewer to receive that information. So you're going to have to quickly assess what you can about that interviewer in the waiting room, when you come in, when you shake hands, and so forth. And we will talk about different personality types and how you can determine which personality type you're dealing with so that you can present the information about yourself in the way that's most comfortable for that person to receive. We'll go, as I said, go more into that in a little bit. You have to sell yourself as the solution to their pain, as I said. You can think of the acronym DRAWN. First, you need to demonstrate. People buy solutions, so somehow you have to show how you are the answer to the pain they have. Then you need to recommend. If you can, turn the tables on the interviewer. Tell me what you need from me is a question you can ask. Or make them sell to you. Sell their company to you. Why would you hire me? Or why would I want to work with this company? Make them start selling you. Arithmetic, tell them how your productivity is going to benefit the company. Now, you know why you're there at this point. You've done your research. You know what they need. You know what you can bring to the table. If you don't, you're wasting your time in the interviews again. You really should know that. Then measure how you've helped your previous employers. Show them what you've done in the past. And assure them. You assure it by asking questions and then listening. One of the skills we learn in Toastmasters is listening. It's one of the reasons for many of the roles we do in here. We are required to listen carefully to what somebody's saying. Then you can guide the interviewer in their discovery of why they need to hire you. The fourth is to anticipate their objections. Objections are really nothing more than questions, and you need to answer them in advance during the interview. If you know there is a question that's going to come up about you or about something you've done in the past, be prepared with that. Don't be caught off guard. It's just a question when they object to something. And then you should understand that the whole time you're there, you're closing. Closing is nothing more than a whole long series of yeses from them. But at the end of that, once you finish, ask them, what's next? What would you like me to do next? All right, now let's go back to step number 2. People fall into 4 basic categories, but all of us have all 4 of these in us. We just have a preference, one way or another. Some people, the top section there, are quick to decide. The 2 squares up on top. Those are the people who decide quickly about things. There are 2 people who decide slowly. They want a lot more before they make a decision. And then left brain controls logic, right? Mathematical things, analytical things. There are people who want the facts. That's how they make their decisions. On the other side, there are people who make their decisions based on relationships. How do they feel about you? Do they like you? These actually, again, all of us have all 4 of these within us, but we have a preference. And I've found that one way to quickly discover what somebody's preferences is picture a joystick riding across in the center. All right? Played games with a joystick before? Push it forward to go fast, pull it back to go slowly. You could bank to the right or bank to the left. So there's my joystick. Push it forward. The people who make decisions quickly are the ones we're looking at when it's forward. And if somebody is rattling off things that make it clear that they make decisions quickly, and we will get into a little more detail on that in a few minutes, then you know they're a fast decider, and you want to give them the information in a fast manner as well. Don't take your time with these people. When the joystick's to the right, they're concerned with relationships. So you want to make sure that you're talking things about people instead of facts. These aren't necessarily bullet point people. These are people who want to develop relationships. On the bottom, these people need time to think things over, to get more information, whatever it is. And again, on the left, they need facts. But what happens when we start combining these? Because no one's strictly on a line. They're at different points. What we call that first quadrant there is the driver. This person is very decisive, but he needs logical information. He's interested in facts. So give your information to him quickly, but give facts. Tell him bullet points. Tell him things that he wants to know about something that's logical, not about relationships. But on the other side, if you're dealing with an expressive, you remember our target speaker from a couple of weeks ago, the contest here, Jerry. He's an expressive. He just loves to talk, and he loves people, and it's a very appropriate term. He's an expressive. Let me back up here. I'll give you a little bit more information this one. The driver. Some of his strengths are he's independent, but every strength is also a weakness, or can be a weakness. That means he has trouble operating with others. So, too far back. He's very decisive, but the weakness of that is he does not take to consider other considerations, other perspectives. He's very determined, but domineering can be too focused a way of doing things as well. He wants to focus on tasks, talk about expected results with you. If you hear these kinds of comments or questions, you're probably dealing with a driver. He wants you to be business-like and factual. He wants to provide concise, precise, and organized information, put it in chronological order, something like that. Discuss the answer with what questions. Argue the facts, not the feelings. Don't waste time. Don't argue details. And provide them with options. When you look around the driver's office, if you're being interviewed in the office, he may have plants or flowers, but they're not there because he likes plants or flowers. It's the impression he's trying to give. So they may be exotic plants. There may be orchids, things like that. He doesn't take care of himself. He has an assistant who does that. There may be family portraits on his desk, but they would just be portraits. It wouldn't be anything that would be a non-professional portrait situation. His office is probably clutter-free and designed by an interior designer. And he wants to be curt and tough and go straight to business. Let's go back to the expressive. This one's a good communicator, but that might mean they talk too much and enjoy talking because they enjoy people. He's very enthusiastic. You'll see that. But the weakness could be that it comes on too strong in such situations. He's very imaginative. But that can also mean he's a dreamer or just unrealistic. When you're communicating with the expressive, focus on developing the relationship with them. That's what they're interested in. They're not interested in the facts. They're interested in how well you can get along. Try to show how your ideas will improve his or her image. Be enthusiastic, open, and responsive to his questions. Relate to the need to share information, stories, and experiences. You hear them asking questions about that, get into those. That's an expressive, and that's how he's going to make his decision. Be forthcoming and willing to talk. Ask ask and answer who questions. Who did this? Who are you interested in? Because who is people. Remember to be warm and approachable at all times with this person and work to minimize his or her direct involvement with details or personal conflicts. The expressive office is probably a mess. That's a good clue. He loves his favorite sayings and has them plastered all over his walls or sitting on the desk. Files are never in a filing cabinet. They're usually in stacks all over the office. But don't be misled. The expressive knows exactly where everything is and can find virtually anything by its location. Office colors will probably be loud and lively. If there are flowers or plants, they're likely dead, so that's a good clue. Definitely underwater. The expressive greatest reward is personal acknowledgement from others. So you'll see examples of that, trophies, plaques, whatever, when you decorate the place. And he's an excitable dreamer with lots of ideas and projects, but without the time to follow them out. Now we'll go to the opposite of the driver, the amiable. These two may not get along well. If you're an amiable type and you find yourself with a driver, call on the driver portion within you. It is there. The amiables are very supportive. These are people who just love family, love people, but they like to build long-standing relationships. They tend to conform with the wishes of others. They'd rather go along, get along, and go along. They're very patient. They don't have any time boundaries. They're diplomatic, not assertive or directive. Be relaxed and agreeable when you're with an amiable. Maintain the status quo with them. Be logical and systematic. Create a plan with written guidelines. Be prepared to answer why questions. Be predictable. Agree clearly and often. Use the word we rather than me or you. Don't push, don't rush. Compliment him or her as a team player. And be a good listener. Those are very helpful. When you look around the amiable's office, you'll notice pictures of loved ones on the desks or wall, probably on the desk. Family pets. Pictures of them as well. And they'll probably want to talk about them. So go ahead and bring up the subject. If you see you're with an amiable, ask them about their family. There may be colorful photos or landscapes or waterfalls, birds, whatever, sunsets. They like bright colors. They like strong colors. You'll probably be dressed in colors that match. So look for that as well. The furniture will be fashionable, but not overwhelming. Files are present, but usually kept out of the way. If you're a little late, the amiable won't mind. If you have the amiable in your company, he or she will stay with you. The amiable likes company, newsletters, picnics, gatherings, and retirement parties. So ask questions about those. Do they have such things if you know you're dealing with an amiable? And the analytics office, or the analytic, I'm sorry. This person is into thinking. He's left brain dominant. And he's slow. He wants lots of information before he makes decisions. So thinking is one of his modes, but that tends to exclude feelings. He's very thorough, but that sometimes can just go too far. And he's very disciplined, but that can be demanding of himself or others, too rigid. He needs to be right and won't openly discuss ideas until confident in a decision. His or her pleasure is accuracy. Pain is to be wrong and criticized. When communicating with an analytical, be systematic, thorough, deliberate, and precise. Focus on task. Be prepared to answer many how questions. How do you do this? How would you do that? Provide analysis and facts. Don't get too personal with them. He's not relationship-oriented. He is fact-oriented. Recognize and acknowledge the need to be accurate and logical. Don't rush unnecessarily. Expect to repeat yourself and allow time for evaluation. Use lots of evidence to back up your position. And compliment him on his precision and accuracy. Anything he says sounds appropriate. His office, the first thing you'll notice is will probably be glasses sitting around the office. Eyeglasses. He's worn out his eyes from constantly reading everything. On the wall, you may see a frame to read, but the chief decoration will be charts, figures, graphs of every kind. The analytical is not very friendly. Will often greet you skeptically and doesn't want to share much, especially anything personal. On the desk will be business-related information, and that will be carefully arranged. It's not a power office, but it definitely will be functional. So here's a quick look at the four and the things that they're known for. I will email you a pass-out